M4 could be just weeks away. Okay, Mark Gurman, if you're right, all is forgiven. In Uncle Mark's newsletter of occasional joy this week, he casually dropped the bombshell that he's hearing, and I quote, a strong possibility that the iPad Pro, set to be introduced on May the 7th, won't be powered by M3 in a way that would make any actual sense in the world, but be the first M4 device on sale. What now? It's a confusing move, not just because everybody has been saying forever that the iPad Pro already has way too much power than it can make use of. It's the software everyone wants fixing. So here we are with the latest generation of Apple Silicon coming first to Apple's least computer.
What's a computer?
Mark Gurman of Bloomberg had said before that the part holding everything up was a special version of iOS 17.5 for these iPads. Which, if you're changing to a completely new chip inside, I guess that kind of makes sense. But what is that version going to add ahead of WWDC, where we would normally see iOS and iPadOS 18 revealed? Maybe a way to run Mac apps on the iPad Pro? That would make a few people sit up and pay attention. And no, I'm not talking about running macOS on iPads. I'm talking about something like Catalyst, the way that Apple allowed iPad apps to be easily wrapped up and ported to the Mac. So at the point of creating your binary, perhaps Xcode could bundle any required frameworks that the iPad wouldn't have access to otherwise, and maybe adjust some of the touch targets, give it different frame borders, that kind of stuff. We don't need the traffic lights on the iPad. That would be pretty cool. What else would help to fix iPad for the detractors? Just let it have Finder so that you can browse files and move stuff around just like on a Mac, instead of the honestly piss-weak Files, which is just about adequate for the iPhone, but not so much the iPad Pro. And if you're going to do it, just give it to all the iPads. Don't mess around. Another thing that would be pretty great is if you could do all of the external ProRes video recording with iPad Pro that the iPhone 15 Pro got last year, and allowing Final Cut Pro to edit from said external drive so that you don't need infinite onboard storage. That would all make a lot of sense. But why start with the iPad Pro? Because it's been heavily criticised by reviewers recently, just like the MacBook Pro 13-inch was. And guess what? If you wanted to try the M2 first, that arrived first in a 13-inch MacBook Pro ahead of the M2 MacBook Air, which got redesigned and released about a month later. And with M3, you could only get it first in the 14-inch MacBook Pro and the iMac. Apple is forcing reviewers to talk about their new iPad stuff if they want to access the newest, latest chip. Tim Cook is a crafty one. Not only that, but it'll also have all the happy AI goodness that we've been hearing about this side of WWDC, meaning they can talk about the capability of these new chips at the event. I'd not be surprised if we saw at least one Mac with M4 at WWDC as well, or what if we got a Mac Mini with it in May? No, don't get your hopes up, Dave, but it'd be really cool. We also heard that the chip process that was being used for the M3 was having yield issues, while the new M4 will be a more reliable and improved node, the N3E, which may explain why we didn't see the bigger Ultra or rumoured Extreme chips in that process. It may actually be cheaper for Apple to make M4 chips than the M3 was, so again, makes more sense to put that into the new products. Plus, getting it out just before June means that they will beat the Snapdragon X Elite to market too, which looks like it was going to be a little bit quicker than the M3, around about 20-21%. So what a fun little poke that would be for it already to be last generation before the Elite gets here, assuming the M4 can outpace it. But 20% is not out of the realms of possibility. So there we go. M4 iPad Pros could make sense, and they could be here within a couple of weeks. This is of course unconfirmed, but Gurman, at least when we're not talking about what date these iPads are actually coming, does tend to be pretty reliable, about as reliable as rumours can get. Just like in the newsletter, he's also said about the new Apple Pencil and the fact it will probably get haptics for the first time, and I know a lot of people have been saying maybe that's because they want it to work with Vision Pro, so you could paint in the air with the new Apple Pencil in Vision Pro, and the haptic feedback there would be really helpful. Now, with Apple's first AI-forward device, May the 7th may just be a little bit more exciting than we thought. Thanks so much to the Patrons. This has been a really quick video. There will probably be things that we find out over the next few days which change some of the stuff we've said, but I wanted to get it out to you as quick as possible. Smash the like button if you want to find out anything else that's coming. Want the latest Apple news, leaks and rumours? Subscribe and ring the bell.